Approximately 1 in 68 children are identified as having an autism spectrum disorder. Over 500,000 children with ASD will transition to adulthood in the next 10 years. There are many resources out there to support children with autism, but how much support are we giving them once they mature? The answer is not enough. As it stands, resources helping adults with ASD transition into the workplace are very limited. Employers are hesitant to hire these people because they lack the training and infrastructure needed to support them. Consequently, the ASD community often misses out on opportunities for growth, independence, and the fulfillment that comes with being part of a workforce. We wanted to fix that. Meet ONE's, or Workplace Acclimation for the Neurodiverse, a framework we've developed in conjunction with Autism Speaks to help those with ASD navigate the workplace. The idea is to create an app-based solution that combines proven behavior analysis methodology with AR technology to create a framework flexible enough to be applied over a number of workplaces. Wand is merely the tool and can be adjusted, reskinned, or branded to the client's needs and specifications. Here is a solution we developed for Target, which is primarily an app with a Google Glass integration. So this is the home page, which you can either log in with your username or with the scan of your Target ID. We created the login system with accessibility in mind. So once we get through that, we are faced with a welcome screen which gives you an overview of the features of this app. So let's jump straight into the Shift dashboard. Here we can see all the tasks laid out for the day in an exact, neatly sequential order, which can be important as people with ASD can have difficulty navigating through disorganization. First on the list is to look over the Shift agenda. Once a task is finished, they can slide the icon over to signify completion. You'll notice that there's a good job message that pops up. So the concept of validation and continual feedback has been proven effective in behavior analysis theory in keeping people with ASD motivated and focused on completing their tasks. And once that's complete, you'll see it's grayed out, and the manager will also get a notification on their version of the app of the task's completion. So now let's get into the next task for the day, men's clothing. You'll see that there are all these tasks that this entails listed out in short, clear bullet point forms, as well as a video list on how to perform these tasks. This is to remind the user of the expectation for completing the task and serves as a quick on-the-fly tutorial if need be. In ABA language, this is referred to as priming and helps move along the flow of work. Let's watch the video.
Lay the shirt front side up and sideways with the neck on your right and the bottom hem on your left. Smooth out any wrinkles so it lays flat. With your right hand, pinch the shirt between the shoulder and the neck. Now pinch halfway down with your left hand. Cross your right hand over your left to pinch the hem. Now pick up the shirt and pull your left hand through, uncrossing your arms. Now drag the shirt along the table to straighten out the sleeve and flip one side over the other.
So that was a snippet of what the video would look like. So moving on to the training modules. This is where the database of instructional videos sits. These modules are used for onboarding employees and also act as a means of after-hours training to instill confidence in the user. As you can see, it's quite comprehensive. We can browse through the selection, use the search bar, and even filter by tag. Here is clothing. In contrast to the videos we saw earlier, they're a more extended and in-depth form of tutorial. Now we'll jump over to the store layout. This gives you a map overview of the store in question. You can also find an item through scanning, but we'll go through that more in depth later on when we talk about the AR extension. Moving on to the goal tracker. Through our conversations with board-certified behavioral analysts, we learned that goal setting and transparency of progress was a handy tool in keeping those with ASD on track. So these metrics get pretty comprehensive, and they can dive into how they're progressing. Some of these metrics are captured from the completion of tasks in the Shift overview, and others through interactions with our Google Glass extension. Our customer initiations metric, which provides a quantitative measure of what we deem successful customer interactions, would be tracked via the AR records. There's also a history tab that houses all the data to date. Moving on to the message manager function, pretty self-explanatory, a means to get in contact with the manager if they have any questions. There's also a little phone icon in case there is an emergency. And finally, the scan barcode. This can perform all the tasks of a regular handheld scanner with the added functionality of locating its display location and bringing up the tasks associated with the item to prompt when the user is unsure of how to proceed with the task at hand. Now we move on to our Google Glass integration. So this is an overview of the Target Wand UI on Google Glass. As you can see, it listens to voice commands and triggers when you say OK Wanda. It can display all the features present on the app in a heads-up display format. The benefit of this is you can get a more immersive experience when it comes to watching the training videos. In addition, it also frees up your hands to complete tasks. Another integration we have is the extension of the store map feature in our app. With the AR component, the user is able to follow directional arrows that lead them to the location of their scanned item. This is a demo of the conversational repair feature. A common issue that people with ASD run into is that sometimes when they run into questions they don't know or are a bit too vague, they forget to ask follow-up questions, which can result in conversational stall. The Google Glass will listen in on the conversation, and if it detects long absences of silence or gaps in the conversation, it will direct the user with prompts to ask a follow-up question until the matter is resolved. To get a sense of how effective our solution could be in the real world, we asked a few people operating in this space for their opinion. And that concludes our demonstration on the Autism Speaks Wand framework, a solution that we've proposed to tackle a much overlooked problem in society. We hope to be able to roll this out to fit other organizations and fulfill our vision of leveling the playing field for all people with ASD when it comes to the workplace, because we believe that with the right infrastructure and support systems in place, no task should ever feel impossible.